Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a monthly favorites, but I'm changing it up a little bit. I'm kind of doing it in a bit of a different way. You guys know I always like changing things up here on my channel. Every single month I have kind of like a go-to everyday look that I discover at some point throughout the month, and I am definitely a creature of habit, and I tend to do the same everyday face almost every single day unless I'm trying out new products. And so I thought it'd be fun to show you guys my go-to face and all of the products that I've been using to achieve it throughout the month of June. Kind of merging two different types of videos together, my current everyday makeup as well as my favorite products from the month. They are becoming one today. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. Let me know in the comments if you like this types of favorites. Hit the thumbs up button if you do. It really helps to let me know that you do like it, and if you do, I will definitely be doing more. And if you're not subscribed yet, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button if you want to join the fam. So let's get started. Okay, so I think it's important to kind of give context about like what was going on in June for me, because that really does dictate the type of makeup that I'm wearing. And June is always a really big month in my life because a lot of my family's birthdays land in June. My birthday, my mom's birthday, my grandparents' birthday. Both of my grandparents are actually like a couple days apart, which is very cute. It's also the first month of summer and things start getting really hot typically in June. And let me tell you, it has been smoking hot here in Montreal. Like, oh my god, my office, you guys, has been sweat central. I've had major issues with my air conditioning over the last month. It kept breaking, and so there were large chunks of time where I did not have any air conditioning, and it was a major heat wave. And so when I say I was sweating profusely, I think that's kind of an understatement. Like, the sweat was just pouring out of my body. So with that being said, my everyday makeup has definitely been geared towards more of like a sweat-proof look. I've been trying a lot of different products, trying to find a perfect combination to give me a look that will not just sweat off my face by the end of the day, because I've just been sweating so much. And with all of the festivities happening this month, I definitely did play with more full coverage looks this month, as well as like brighter lip colors, which I'll be showing you guys in this video as well. So I'm going to start off first with my prep. The Vichy Mineral 89 Booster has definitely been one of my favorite products to use before applying my makeup. This is a hydrating serum, and I have pretty dry skin, as you guys know, but in the summertime my skin does tend to get a little bit less dry. On a lot of days I've just been using this as my base, and I've been skipping the moisturizer before applying my makeup, because even though I want my skin to be really nicely prepped and obviously hydrated, I don't want it to be greasy in any way, because my makeup will just slip off my face. So I've been really liking applying just the serum and leaving it at that, and I find it works great. So now moving on to the foundation. This is the magical foundation that I was talking about. So this is the Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation with SPF 25. Oh wait, speaking of SPF, I do need to apply SPF to my face. So my SPF is actually at home, my vanity. If you didn't know, I do have an office space where I film, so not every single one of my makeup products is here. I always have to like bring things over, so sometimes I do forget things. This SPF from Josie Maran is the one that I've been using and loving. It's a mineral SPF. It doesn't break me out, which is a huge key, because my skin has been super sensitive to SPFs lately, and I've noticed that, you know, the more SPF I wear, the more my skin kind of tends to break out. So I've been looking for an SPF that doesn't do that, and I kind of just went back to the basics. This is a product that I've loved for a long time, and it doesn't break me out, so that's what I've been using day to day. I just don't have it here, but let's just pretend I'm putting that on my face right now. So back to the foundation. This is a serum foundation, but don't let that name fool you. This actually isn't like a serum-y or oily foundation. This doesn't really even have much of a glow. I would say this is more like a natural matte finish, which I find is the most ideal finish of foundation when you want something to really last on your face, because glow area foundations do tend to kind of slip around a little bit more. This also has some pretty solid coverage to it, so you really don't need a lot of this foundation in order for it to like cover your entire face, which is also key, because I personally don't like to wear a lot of foundation on my skin, especially in the summertime. I just find it a little bit uncomfortable, so I'm able to use a really small amount of this. I'm able to get a big impact with that small amount, and it doesn't slip around on my face, which is ideal. So by the end of the day, this does not move. My skin looks amazing. It hasn't changed even slightly, and it's honestly just, it's really impressive. Every time I wear this and I'm sweating and I look in the mirror and I expect my foundation to just be smeared and smudged and rubbed off, it's just not with this. So it's super awesome. So I'm going to be using the shade WN38, which matches me pretty perfectly right now. because I am a little bit more on the tan side. And I'm going to be using a buffing brush to apply this. This is my MAC 170. And I did one pump, and that's going to cover my entire face perfectly. So I first kind of like to dot it everywhere just to make sure I have an even amount of coverage. Since I'm only using like a pretty small amount, I don't want to run out on one side of my face. And we're just gonna blend it in by patting it into the skin. You see that coverage? There was the smallest little dot on my cheek, and all of that redness is completely covered up. And I used barely any product. I will also be showing you guys an update at the end of the day just to show you how everything is wearing. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can actually see it at the end of the day and why this whole face has just been my favorite this month. So here's the finish of the foundation. It's definitely a natural matte finish. As you can see, there's no like excess glow. It's also not overly chalky or too matte. And I do find for me, it does get a little bit glowier throughout the day too. Let's move on now to concealer. The concealer that I've been loving this month has been the Bare Minerals Original Liquid Mineral Concealer. I've kind of been on this stuff like on and off over the last couple of months. It's just really good. I find like it's a good, pretty basic concealer. It has like a light to medium coverage, more of a natural finish as well. So I find that it really meshes with this particular foundation really nicely. And this is in the shade Fair 1W, which is pretty light, significantly lighter than my face. But I have been enjoying a pretty like highlighted face lately. So I have been going towards this highlighty type of shade. So this is where I've been applying my concealer, and I'm just gonna use the same brush to blend it out. And I find because my foundation brush does have a little bit of my foundation left over, it does kind of tone down the brightness of this concealer because it mixes in slightly with the foundation. So it just helps to really mesh with the foundation a little bit easier. But I find once it's blended out, it really doesn't look too crazy. And this brush, by the way, has also honestly been a huge favorite. It's a brush that I always like seek out when I'm going to go do my foundation. I just really like it because it's nice and small, and so I'm able to use this on my face, but I can also really easily use it underneath my eyes because it is small enough. Okay, for the powder, you guys are gonna flip because I'm actually not showing you my Kosas Cloud set. I know you're shocked. Are you concerned? Don't be concerned. Everything's fine. I have been trying to like, you know, play around with different powders because it was getting a little bit ridiculous. Like I was using Kosas Cloud set just every single day. I was mentioning it in like 15 videos straight, so I felt like I needed to change things up a little bit. I kind of went back to the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Blurring Under Eye Powder because it's really, really, really good. And I've been using the shade Light. It's kind of like this almost white color, but it shows up translucent-ish on the face. It's not a powdery powder at all. It's so finely milled, probably one of the most finely milled powders that I've ever tried. When you touch this and you kind of like rub it between your fingers, it just like disappears. It almost feels silky. It's such a beautiful powder, and I don't just use this underneath my eyes, I use it pretty much everywhere. So I'm gonna take this little brush over here, and of course I'm gonna use this underneath my eyes, but I'm also going to set the center of my face with this, which is not something I always do, but especially when I'm trying to control the shine and sweat on my face. I'm sorry, I'm saying sweat so much in this video, but I can't help it. I do like to set the center of my face just to kind of lock things in a little bit. It does also help with the longevity too, of course. The foundation already really does good for the pores, but I find with the powder on top, it makes things look extra poreless and just really, really flawless. Before I go into my bronzer blush highlight, I am actually gonna spray my face with Fix Plus. I do this because I find that it makes my more full coverage foundation settle into my skin even more, and it kind of makes it look a little bit more natural and like it's more so a part of the skin. So I like to do this step before I apply the color on my cheeks. Really for no crazy reason, it's just the order I've been doing things, but I find it makes a huge difference. So taking my MAC Fix Plus, nice little spray, and also it's just so refreshing when you're hot. So the one product that I have here that isn't necessarily like my favorite of the month is the Say Cream Bronzer. I just got this in the mail like 3 days ago, and I really, really wanted to use this on camera because I have been using this over the last 3 days and I love it. And because I just did my ranking cream bronzer video right before this, And I did mention that I was going to get this in. A lot of you guys really wanted to hear my thoughts on this like ASAP. And so I figured I would just put this on camera and show you guys what it looks like. So I'm going to be using this Sigma Airbrush Kabuki F85 to apply this. I'm using the shade Medium Bronze, which I thought was going to be a little bit too dark for me, but it actually is perfect because this is a super sheer bronzer, which is why this is so good. So I'm going to just pick it up with the brush and just start to kind of pat it where I want it. As you can see, even though I picked up quite a bit of product, it's very, very sheer and it melts into the skin like that. When I first applied this, my jaw dropped. I could not believe how seamless it blended into the skin. Even though it is really sheer, it still gives you that gorgeous warmth that you're looking for. And I just love the way it applies. I actually find this is like a perfectly formulated sheer bronzer because a lot of sheer bronzers are almost too sheer where they just don't really do much. And this is sheer enough that you can kind of apply it haphazardly, but it's just going to blend and melt into the skin super easily without really having to think too much about it. So I'm sure you guys are going to be seeing this product quite often on my channel over the next little bit because I can see myself using this the entire summer. I think it's going to be a huge staple for me. So now let's talk blush. I've been layering these two blushes over the last couple of weeks. This is a cream from Hourglass. It is in the shade Wonder, and then this is the Bare Minerals bronzer in Kiss of Copper. So these two products just layer so perfectly on top of each other because first of all, I love layering creams and powders because they just lock each other in, so you're gonna get a really nice long wearing blush look. This cream is also matte and this powder has definitely a lot of sheen in it. This is called a bronzer, so it's supposed to be like a bronzer and blush in one. It's supposed to kind of like warm up your cheeks, add some color, and also a little bit of sheen. So I find the layering of these two to be perfect because this on its own is just too matte for me right now. I do like a nice glow on my cheeks right now, and then this on its own I feel like requires a little bit of something else underneath just to give it some type of base, and so the combo is just perfect. So I'm just going to swipe this on my cheeks directly. So I tend to concentrate this more on the cheekbone area. Look how pretty that color is. Like, it doesn't look like anything too crazy when you first apply it, but once it's actually blended into the skin, it just meshes so nicely with the bronzer. Now I'm gonna go into the bronzer in Kiss of Copper, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of it and just kind of sweep this on the apple of my cheek and just blend it backwards. And then I always take my foundation brush and I kind of just like blend the edges where the blush meets my concealer area, because sometimes I find that I go a little bit too close to my under eyes. It just kind of happens. And so taking whatever's left over on the brush and just kind of sweeping like this and pressing, it's going to help merge those two areas together so that it's not just sitting on top of my concealer. For a highlighter, it has to be this guy. The Lisa Aldridge Elevated Glow Highlighter is perfect. It's a creamy liquid, but it has such an amazing pop to it, and it gives your cheekbones such a gorgeous glow without it being too over the top, but also not too subtle. You know, for the longest time I was skipping highlighter just because I didn't feel like it was needed, but as soon as I discovered this, I've been applying it every single day because I just find it adds just such a beautiful sheen to the skin, and I just think it looks amazing. I mean, like, look at this side, I'm still glowy, but this side, she's glowy. And I really just love how seamlessly this blends into the skin. It doesn't really look super obvious. Barely even looks like I have like a product there. It just looks like I'm glowing, specifically in this area, which is exactly what I want. I've been applying it on my cheekbones, and then I take whatever's left over and I kind of just sweep it on my brow bone and above my brow. It's perfect. So for my eyes, I've been keeping things pretty simple. Either I use one cream eyeshadow blended out throughout my entire lid, or I just put on mascara, or I don't wear any eye makeup at all. It's just kind of how I've been rolling lately. But when I do apply an eyeshadow, this Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in the shade Metallic Taupe is magical. So this is a perfect kind of neutral taupe shade. It is so reflective. I mean, look at that. Stunning. And what's so nice about these two is they set and then they don't move throughout the entire day. They're super quick and easy. I'm just going to basically draw this all over my lid. You don't need to apply a primer since it is a cream. And you don't even really need a brush to blend it out, but I'm going to use one just because I have one right here. And I just want to diffuse the edge just so there's no line of demarcation. And this just gives the most gorgeous, subtly bronzy taupe glow to the eye. It's not too intense. It's very wearable for day to day, or even for at night. I find that it just has such a nice pop, but again, it's not like over the top. But this is gonna be a staple for me the entire summer. I just know it. It also kind of gives your eyes this like wet look too, which I just think also is so pretty for the summertime. It's beautiful. For my brows, I have a brand new product in my life. I've been in such kind of like a brow product rut for a while. I've been pretty much only using the M Cosmetics brow cream, and like once in a while I'll like dabble in like the Kosas brow products. I do really like those, but this guy from Makeup Forever, this is the Aqua Resist Brow Fixer in medium brown. Totally took me by surprise. So this is what it looks like. It's a teeny tiny little spoolie, and the product that's on here is very interesting because it's kind of like a mix between a gel and a powder. So this is somewhat similar to the M Cosmetics brow cream, but the formulas are also completely different. They're similar in their effect, so they do both pretty much completely fill in your brows with just this one gel-like product, which I love because it's quick, it's easy, and it's really the lazy person's dream. I've said that a million times, but it's just the truth. I really don't like doing my brows, and these types of products are just perfect for me because it takes 2 seconds and it totally fills in and also sets my brows in place. But this is different from the M Cosmetics brow cream because it has this like powdery formula, so I do find that it gives a little bit more of like a softer appearance to the brows, and it really looks like you filled in your brows with powder, but again in a very natural way, and it also lasts really, really well throughout the day. It doesn't go anywhere. This is part of their Aqua line, so it is pretty much waterproof, which is great. So let me show you how I like to use it. First, I like to kind of like wipe off some of the excess because let me tell you, you can over apply this, and I have, and it looks a little bit crazy when you do, so you do want to be a little bit careful with it. But I like to start to apply this towards the center of my brow to get most of the color there, and then I just bring it down towards the tail, and I kind of zhuzh the hairs a little bit and start to shape my brows with the spoolie, and that will start to fill my brows in. And then I take whatever's left over and I bring it towards the front of my brow to add some color there. And there you have it. And like I said, this doesn't just apply the product, it also sets your brows in place at the same time. This isn't the most like intense brow gel as far as hold goes. So if you wanted to make sure that your brows stayed in place, I would put another brow gel on top of that. And I have been doing that. And when I do that, I've been using the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Fix. This is a clear brow gel. I make sure to use something clear because my brows are already dark enough and I don't want to add any extra color. And this is just the clear brow gel that I have currently, so that's what I've been using. And then especially with this brow gel, they ain't going anywhere. Lastly, for the eyes, this is my favorite mascara of the month. This is the MAC Magic Extension. I've been using this for probably about like 2 months now, and it's definitely been one of my favorites for day to day. This gives so much length to the lashes, and it also lasts really well throughout the day. It doesn't smudge. I mean, look at that. Look at how separated and lengthened that immediately made my lashes look. I really find this kind of gives somewhat of a false lash effect for me. And it also really keeps a curl too. So the last thing that I have to show you guys are the lips. And this month I've been really drawn towards like brighter orangey red shades, and these two guys have been my go-tos. This is the NARS Air Matte Lip Color in Total Domination. I've been wearing this one probably the most. And then when I want something a little bit more orange, this MAC Powder Kiss Liquid Lip Color in Resort Season is so fun. This one is really like a true orange. Total Domination is kind of just like a really, really bright red with slight like orangey undertones. It's kind of like a cherry red actually. So today I'm gonna put on Resort Season, and this is also the Powder Kiss formula, so it's a soft matte finish. The Powder Kiss formula is one of the only like matte formulas that I actually can stand. It's very, very comfortable and does not irritate the lips at all. And what I like about this is I'm able to get it on in a really sheer way. So even though this is like a super bright orange color, I like applying it a little bit on the sheer side so that it kind of makes such a insane color a little bit more wearable. You could definitely also build this up though if you wanted to, but this is just how I like to wear it. Doesn't even make my teeth look yellow. I find most of the time orange lipsticks do that, but I don't know, I feel like they look pretty white with this color. And that finishes off the look, and this is the makeup look that I've been rocking the most this month. So like I said, I'm gonna check in with you guys at the end of the day. Right now it's 1:30, so I'll check in with you around 8ish, and you'll get to see how everything actually wore while working in my very hot office. Hello, I just got back home. It's 9 p.m. I'm so tired. I spent the entire day working on my new sticker collection, which is actually going to be released today, the day that this video is going up. If you didn't know, I do have a little sticker slash art shop called Paige Doodles, and I'm releasing a bunch of nostalgic and self-love inspired stickers. They're so cute. If you want to check them out, I'll link my store down below. But back to the makeup. I have been wearing this full face. I guess it's been 8 hours total, and I mean, to no surprise, everything is looking pretty much perfect. I actually had to change my eye makeup because I had to film something, but these are actually caviar sticks, so you can still see how they wore throughout, again, probably about 8 hours. I think I like changed it maybe 30 minutes after I filmed that video. And also I wanted to mention my brows are so locked down. Like when I touch them, they feel like super glued to my face. I think it may be a mix of both like the Charlotte Tilbury brow gel and the Makeup Forever brow product, because they're both like gel products. I mean, it just makes for a very gel down brow. So here's what the foundation looks like after about 8 hours. Everything is still very much on my face. It hasn't really rubbed off really anywhere, maybe a little bit on my nose, because that's from me taking my mask on and off when I had to run some errands. And I also want to mention, my skin is obviously very glowy by the end of the day. So even though this is more of like a natural matte finish, I still get a lot of glow by the end of the day. So that is it for my update. Time to take this makeup off and eat dumplings. Bye. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this type of favorites video. Let me know in the comments what you thought. If you'd like to see me do this more often, hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I will see you guys in the next one.